Claro, pero está. Inizia lei. Sì, ma lei va.
Hola a todos. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. It's round 2 of our 2026 season, and after what was a fantastic Misano, I have no doubt that this one will be rather exciting. To my left here, Michael Ascona comes into this weekend leading the championship standings. However, I feel like this might throw a spanner in the works. We have a very short, very tricky circuit here in Valencia. The boys have raced in Valencia before, but not on this circuit. So technically it's a brand new track for them. Free practice 1 was interesting. So Victor Anderson was on top for free practice 1. Jimmy Claret, the other of the Claret brothers, was on top for free practice 2. I have a feeling this might be the weekend where we have Honda and Cupra shining. But let's, of course, not underestimate Geely and Hyundai. Hyundai had raw pace in Misano. Geely took the win for race 2, that reverse grid with Ma Qinghua, their first win as Geely Cyan Racing, and Ma's first win since 2024. But a lot could play out here. Not only do we have those differences between the Honda Cupra, Geely Hyundai and so on and so forth, we have the entry of Vanin Motorsport. They're here this weekend with Luke Sargent and Manuel Fernandez. And it is very hot. We expect temperatures to be about 32, 33 degrees later today. And probably even hotter tomorrow. Right, I thought I would just take this moment to have a chat to Gabriele Rizzo. So, Misano was great for you guys. Valencia, obviously things have changed a little bit. What are your expectations from this qualifying session, given, well, yeah, let's just go with that.
Well, it's really difficult to forecast where we'll be in the field, because it's an event with 26 cars, with a lot of very quick locals, as we have seen yesterday, both in the test and free practice. In this layout that is shortened, what we are used to have, the gaps will be very close. We have already the compensation weight in place that will balance, let me say, some performance. So it's difficult to predict. We leave every session step by step. So the first target is to enter with all the 3 cars in Q2, and then to be in the top 10. This is the minimum target that we have, and it is difficult to predict where we will be with car in the top 10. So that's the first target.
As Gabriele mentions there, we've got a bigger grid. We've got 26 cars on the grid. TCR Spain have joined us. So a lot of those locals know this track really, really well. And as you say, because we're on that shorter layout, there's not a lot splitting the top 10, is there? So any mistake will make all of the difference in this qualifying session.
You're right. Both in, let me say, exploiting the potential of the car, then there are a lot of situations that can define the grid. There is this story of the track limit that, you know, even where professional drivers happen because they are pushing at their maximum. There is the element of the traffic, because having 26 cars on a 3 kilometers track, you can, let me say, to have a clean lap during the 20 minutes is not so easy. So you have to have the right space and to be in the right moment on the track. So there are a lot of elements that, let me say, can define the final results, not only in terms of pure performance of each drivers on his own car.
What about other things that we need to keep an eye out for, other challenges? I guess tyres, you know, it won't be easy to manage the tyres when the temperatures will be so high and around a circuit like this?
That is an extra challenge. We know since the previous year that when we enter in this range of temperature, there is quite an important shift in balance already with 10 degrees of track temps different. And as we are now at 11, we expect that the temperature at the beginning of Q1 will be 6-7 degree different from the one at the end of Q2, so we have to anticipate this shift in track temps, let me say, in the way that we manage tires and the setup of the cars.
Thank you, Gabriele. We look forward to seeing how you get on. Let's have a little mooch, shall we? I had a nice chat with Norby on the grid. We did a lovely big family photo yesterday. Had a chat with Norby. He's really confident. I wonder if he's still... Hang on. Norby, when I spoke to you on the grid yesterday, you were saying that you feel very confident about today, and I wondered whether you've woken up with the same feeling.
My exact words that I'm confident. Yeah. I didn't say very confident. To be honest with you, yesterday was a tricky day because of high temperatures. Front tires were suffering a lot. Yeah. It's not easy to put the car in the window. But now it's a bit more cold. I think it will suit the car in a better way. So I'm confident in myself, in the car, in the team. I mean, we are a good group of people having the experience how to cope with even sometimes difficult scenarios. So I'm confident to do a good qualifying. Whether it's enough to be on the front row or close to the front row, this I don't know.
Yeah, we shall see. Have a good one, Norby. I think he used the word cold then. That's not a word that I would use to describe Valencia this weekend, but never mind. Colder than yesterday. Gabriele Cavini is the third of the Hyundais there. Damiano Raduzzi. Sorry, come this way. Come with me. Let's have a little mooch down. I think we've got about a minute to go. Be nice to have a quick chat. Marching Hua, this is who I was just talking about. He took the win for the Geely Cyan Racing Santiarutia, so he is one to keep your eye on, certainly of these 4 Geelys this weekend. Teddy had a chat to him yesterday. Right, Aurelion, this is the guy that I want to have a word with, because as always, Aurelion, we always say, is a bit of a dark horse. something tells me that this could be his weekend to shine. Hello, Aurelian, no pressure. Talk us through how you're feeling and what you learnt from yesterday's free practice session.
It was a good day for us yesterday, but we had a lot of work of the car, so it's very good for us. But now it's a quali time, and we will see after the quali.
Okay, Amazon. Like we alluded to, the one lap pace is going to be crucial here in qualifying. The opportunity for error is high. It's going to be very, very difficult to put everything together. And in my opinion, we need to keep an eye on the experience, boys, to just nail that one lap pace here in qualifying. But let's see. What we do know is it's bound to be a good show. Keep watching. Have a good one.
Thank you very much, Alex Legui. Hello, everybody watching at home. Qualification time is finally here, and I'm delighted to welcome you to Valencia, a different circuit layout than we are normally used to. As mentioned, a little bit shorter than the traditional Valencian track, 3 kilometres in length, roughly, let's have a look at my piece of paper, sorry. 3 kilometres in length, 1.9 miles, very few corners, and bear me 1 second. It's a track that our drivers don't know very much about. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do around here. There's potentially some overtaking opportunities. There's potentially a variable that is going to be very, very interesting to see. We've got some new drivers on the grid as well. As mentioned, TCR Spain are with us this weekend. So we've got some big names. Eric Zabala, of course, from TCR Spain. Stendari and Piramagi as well. He's a great driver. We've got a number of names that you will recognise. Jensen Brickley, of course, is back again for ALM Motorsports. They've got 5 cars, believe it or not, this weekend. So that's very, very interesting to see. And, of course, we've got our usual big hitters looking to continue their charge. This is just the second weekend of racing here in the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. And I think it's fair to say there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of things that we just don't have the answer to yet. But I reckon at the end of this qualifying, we might be a little bit clearer indeed as to what the future holds. Right then, I've made some adjustments to my comms box now so I can actually hear the right things, which is good, so we can get on with the job. Qualification then is underway. Q1, as you see on the top of your screen, 19 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. This is for all drivers taking part this weekend. At the end of this one, we'll whittle it down to the 12 quickest, and those 12 will move forward into qualification 2, where we'll set the grid, reverse grid, for race number 2. 3 races this weekend, by the way, which is a little bit new and exciting for this season. Race 1 will take place this afternoon, 16:45 local time. And then races 2 and 3, rounds 4 and 5 of the 2026 campaign will be taking place tomorrow. This is the new bit of the racetrack. You'll not recognise this one, folks. First time we've been here, first time anyone's been here. As we cut out the infield section of this Valencia circuit. Much, much quicker, a very surprisingly fast uphill chicane. Then it joins the penultimate corner as it winds its way down into Campos, the final turn of this circuit. It's shorter, it's sharper, and generally speaking, I feel it's going to open up a few opportunities for our drivers to exploit those opportunities, shall we say. As you can see on your screen, local hero Mikel Azcona in car number 196, the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corse team. He's been relatively good over the course of this weekend. Azcona 6 in free practice 1. A little bit slower in FP2, but again, they've had a test session prior to this weekend, so the opportunity for the drivers to get plenty of running has been very, very high so far. Julian Brichet in pit lane for JSB competition. They elected not to come out just yet. Got a couple of drivers actually in pit lane. 26 cars we're going to have on the grid, so traffic might be an issue for some of these drivers. 3 kilometres, 1.9 miles in length is the circuit. So we're going to find a premium on finding the right bit of racetrack to be on at the right time to not compromise your lap. So far, that a 41 or 141. No real times have been set on the books. It will be Mikel Othkona that takes the honour of the first representative time of the day, a 1:19.172. Not quite as quick as teammate Norbert Michelitz. Norbe, fastest driver so far, a 1:19 flat for the Hungarian driver. These times are going to plummet very, very quickly indeed, though, as we get into the session proper. Santiago Arruti and Ted Bjork take over there for the Geely Sayan Racing squad. Be interesting to see what Geely Sayan Racing can bring to the table, of course, this weekend. I think it's fair to say they were not quite showing their full potential last time out at Misano. Well, potentially for this weekend, they're going to have to go a little bit faster. There's been a few changes in the weights. We'll talk about that one a little bit later on. But what it does mean is the likes of Santiago Arruti, Jan Elche, Ted Bjork et al. Are going to have to work very, very hard. Ma Qinghua, winner of race 2 last weekend at Misano. He'll be hoping to add to his tally as well. There is Raphael Fournier. Great to see the young Frenchman back once again. Teammate Julian Brichet, JSB competition. Doesn't look like they're having to start to qualify that they would quite have hoped for. There is Julian in the blue machine coming out of pit lane. Van in Motorsport, by the way, we saw very briefly on our screens then. It's great to see Van in here as well. Manuel Fernandez, Luke Sargent behind the wheel of the 2 Audis. As Brichet comes out on the track in the 24 to get ready to see what the Frenchman can do around the Spanish circuit. Tyre swaps all around then. That is Demir Erige, Turkish driver, racing for ALM Motorsports. As mentioned, 5 cars for ALM this weekend. Busy, busy indeed. They've got Jensen Brickley as well. Probably their point man so far in free practice. 3rd in FP1, 3rd in FP2 for Jensen, the Englishman, the reigning TCR Europe champion. That's a good opportunity for a strong weekend, I am absolutely sure. This is Ma Qinghua in the 155. Currently 5th quickest Chinese driver. Dare say though, a 1:19.2. There's a heck of a lot more pace from the 155. We'll keep our eye. Jimmy Claret out on track as well, personal fastest, first sector for the Frenchman, taking over from brother Teddy, sharing that drive for the European rounds. Jimmy and Teddy. It's now Jimmy's opportunity after a quiet weekend at Misano for Teddy. He's had the benefit as Jimmy of those 3 hours of testing, as mentioned, on Thursday, so plenty of time behind the wheel of the ALM Honda Civic Type R TCR. Should go a long way to help him extract the potential that we know the Frenchman very much has at his fingertips. So 14 minutes then on the clock. First few times are in. It is Santiago Arruti for now, who's the quickest driver ahead of Norbert Michelitz. As I said, that one, it was mentioned, wasn't it, by Alex down on pit lane as a dark horse. Aurelien Comte, quickest of all at 18.4. That's a reasonably good time for the French driver. Keep your eye out for Aurelien Comte. SP competition looking very, very quick over the course of this weekend. Be interested to see what Aurelien can do. Jensen Brickley, fastest of all, sector 1, personal fastest 2 and 3. Not quite good enough though for the Englishman. 5th position on that occasion. 1:18.9. Still has time to find. Does car number 246. The luminous flashes there makes it much easier for the likes of you and I to pick that one out of what's going to be a very, very busy pack. Another talking point as well that we very briefly saw on our stream there is tyre stacks. We have several strategically placed tyre stacks, a mix of helping keep the cars on track limits, making sure that we don't bring any dirt and debris out onto the racetrack as well. And that seems to be working very well indeed so far. No one's collected them, although this is only practice and qualify. There's still plenty of time. Manuel Fernandez, our first look at car number 13, the Van in Motorsports Audi. Very well put together machine that for the Portuguese driver. Let's have a look what Fernandez can do. 23rd quickest so far. Personal fastest sectors, but still not really on the pace they would expect that machine to be. It's Fernandez up then into 15th position. Luke Sargent up there in 14th place as well, one further up the road. Enzo Gianfratti, that's not Enzo in the car, of course, that's just the time at the bottom. You'll recognise that name from TCR South America, of course. Perfectly on cue, there is the Brazilian driver. Wonderful to have Gianfratti here with us over the course of this week. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's not good looking, is it? That's Gabby Corvini that we're looking at. Gabriele Corvini in some kind of drama in pit lane. Smoke under the hood of the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa Hyundai Elantra. Not quite sure what the problems are there, but with only 12 minutes on the clock, that's going to be a big disaster. And there we go, that's never good news. Never good news for the Italian driver. What does Gabriele Corvini have to do to buy himself a bit of good fortune? Just been a lot of problems for the Italian over the course of this racing season. Plies his trade in TCR Europe. Of course, usually does Gabriele. Of course, he was here in the World Tour as well. Finished 10th and 11th at Misano on home soil last time around. It'll be a very difficult day in the office if Corvini can't get out there and try his very best to get a time somewhere in and around that top 12 to make it through to the next portion of this qualification session. There is Julien Brichet, also in pit lane. Teammate Raphael Fournier is out on track at this moment in time, so that's good news for Rafa. But for Julien, not able yet to get out there and get a time on the boards. Let's hope that changes very, very quickly indeed for the Frenchman. Right then, top of the time still is Aurelien Comte with an 18.143. Is now the advantage of 0.2 of a second. But look in second place, Sten Dorian Piramage. ALM Motorsports, one of our TCR Spain competitors, Piramage, doing an absolutely fantastic job. Currently second quickest of all, just ahead of Santiago Arrutia, who holds that third position. In terms of top 12, Jimmy Claire is the man on the bubble for now. But expect a lot to change. We've still got 10 minutes of action left to go on this one. There is plenty of opportunity for our drivers to make gains or losses as the session continues. Onboard cameras, of course, as well, with several of our cars, one of whom is the Jimmy Claire ALA Motorsports Honda Civic that we're looking at right here and now. Hopefully we stay on board with this shot and we can have a look at how the circuit differentiates itself from what we have come to know for Valencia. So we ride on board with Jimmy. We're still on the original layout. You'll recognise this one very well indeed. TCR touring car fans, it's been a bit of a long-term part of the calendar, has Valencia, in one way, shape or form over the years. It's a great place to go touring car racing. And there, that's where the change goes. Instead of cycling off left, we come into this brand new chicane a lot quicker than it appears on the screens. And then that joins us back up into the penultimate corner, the long, difficult curve of Campos. Head down into the left-hander. You always snatch a break. The car always wants to run wide. There's one of the tyre stacks I was speaking about. It is a much simpler layout, and simplicity almost always tends to be the right way to go in many things. I'm looking forward to this one. Norbert Mikulits is looking forward to this one as well, because he's just gone second quickest. Good time for Mikulits there. A 1 minute 18.240, so just under a tenth of a second away from Aurelien Comte. But let's remember, this is Q1. The only thing we need to achieve in Q1 for these drivers is to get into that top 12 to secure their place in the second portion of qualification. And Ma Qinghua, that we very briefly saw on our screen there, is the first of those that won't make it through. As things stand, the Chinese driver, 13th quickest. Don't expect that to stay that way for long. Ma, plenty of time left. There are 8 minutes on the clock. We can get that one done and dusted, I am sure. But the pressure continues to build. Damiano Reduzzi, that we're having a look at here. 17th quickest for the Italian. Back once again is Damiano in the World Tour. Great to have him back for the Trico WRT squad. 14th and 15th last time out on home soil. We will still be hoping for a little bit more in the Hyundai TCR Italy front runner, of course. Let's have a look at Ted Bjork, who's a World Tour front runner, has to be said. What can the Swedish driver do There we go, that's the business. Quickest time of the session, a 1:18.131 for Ted Bjork. Geely Cyan Racing, welcome to the party. Quickest of all then for the 111, just ahead of Aurelian Cop, Mikel Azcona. Third position for the Spanish driver, Norbert Michelitz. He's currently in the pit lane. And fourth quickest, Jenson Brickley still there in fifth. Stendurian Piramage leading the charge for TCR Spain in sixth position, just ahead of Santiago Urrutia, Victor Anderson, Julian Brichet, and Eric Zabala in 10th. Enzo Gianfratti, that we're looking at here in 15th in the 419. The Brazilian driver, very, very good talent over there in TCR South America. Was teammates briefly at Interlagos for their endurance race a few months ago. Gianfratti making his debut on the world stage. Was 10th quickest. Impressive performance there for the Cupra driver. Just ahead, Frenchman Yann Erlichet. And that bumps Jimmy Claret to 12th. Raphael Fournier being the only driver yet, sorry, the first of the drivers that are not scheduled to make it through to Q2. Picking up then Yann Erlichet, 11th quickest for the Frenchman so far. He's not going to stay that way for longer. Will he be able to beat Ted Bjork's time? Yes, he will. Erlichet goes quickest, 17.933. First time we've been in the 1:17s during this qualification session. Step up to the plate, Yann. That's a very nice time indeed. The entirety of the top 7, minus Erlichet, are in pit lane. What's happening with Gabi Corvini, I am not quite sure. I'm having a look down my timing screen. He's 18th at the moment, still in pit lane. So whatever dramas that befell Gabriele Corvini don't seem to be going anywhere particularly quickly. Hopefully for the Italian, he can get back out again. Here's Ma Qinghua, 15th quickest so far for the Chinese driver in the 155. Worrying place to find yourself if you're Ma. Can he do anything about the time in Tower? He'll be hoping so, Warren. This is the beginning then of his quick lap. Let's ride with the Geely Cyan Racing machine. Very difficult. There's a bit of traffic ahead as well for the 155. This is not ideal for Ma. Hopefully they're far enough away, the Honda ahead, but it's not going to impede our lap time. Big commitment through this section of corners. We're on the original Valencia circuit, of course. At this moment in time, a part of the racetrack these drivers know very, very well indeed. There's Luke Sargent just a little bit further up the road, Rennie Paulson as well. Both hopefully far enough away. Yes, I think they will be. Oh, wow, that's close to the tyre stack, isn't it? Oh, track limits work very well indeed, actually. Ma did a good job to stay out of trouble. Personal fastest sector time so far. A couple of tenths away from the ultimate pace. This is the new chicane. Uphill, big commitment. You can carry a lot more speed than you think through there. Watch the tyre stack on your driver's left-hand side and then roll downhill. Be careful not to be too greedy on the brakes. Try and catch that apex very nicely indeed. Well hooked up there from Ma Qinghua. Gets a good run to the line, keeps it pinned to the left-hand side and the right-hand side for the driver for the shortest run to the line. 16th place for Ma Qinghua, turns into 9th position, half a second away from teammate Yann Erlichet at the top of the tree. That will be good enough for the Chinese driver to keep him firmly within that top 12 running. Julian Brichet trying desperately to get out of the way. Again, this is going to be the story, I think, of this weekend. Will be traffic, not just in qualifying, but in the races as well. It's a very short lap here at the circuit Ricardo Tormo, especially in this shorter configuration. 26 cars on the grid. It's going to be a challenge indeed for our drivers. There is Enzo Gianfratti coming back out once again. Where is Enzo in the timing tower? Let me have a quick look. Gianfratti currently 14th quickest. This is, of course, his outlap. Damir Erige, very briefly we saw there as well. Turkish driver hoping for a little bit more experience to be gained. He's been coached this weekend by Ruben Volt, who's a regular in the world of TCR Europe. Interesting to see what the Turkish driver can do over qualifying. Victor Anderson, by the way, he's been a man absolutely on form over the course of this weekend. Fastest in free practice 1. Very, very quick for the Monlau Motorsport Cupra team. Got personal fastest sector 1s and 2. Altan just about getting out of the way in the 411. What will this do, though, for Victor Anderson's prospects? Currently in 10th position. Moves up one, half a second away from the pace. But 9th quickest for Victor Anderson. Marching Hua now drops in to 10th place. Julian Brichet is the man that sits on the bubble as the last of those that will currently make it through to Q2. Sandro Pilate, great to see the Italian back once again for SP competition 472. The experienced Italian driver. Basically, it doesn't feel like a TCR race if Sandro Pilate's not there, does it? He seems to be absolutely everywhere at the moment, including down pit lane. Decided to bail on that one. Good first sector time, a little bit slower in the middle sector. Pilate doesn't think that is enough to improve his lot in life and stays in 16th position. 1 minute 49 seconds left on the clock. Time is a ticking to the conclusion of this first portion of qualification ahead of round 3 of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour that'll be taking place a little bit later on this afternoon. Here's your quickest man on track then, Jan Oleshe. Currently holds the top spot on the time in tower. 1:17.933 is the time to beat from the French driver, just ahead of Santiago Urrutia and Ted Bjork. 1:23 for Geely Cyan Racing. Hello, lap time. This is looking like a very nice performance indeed from the Blue Squad. We're a bit concerned in free practice. They're a bit further away than you would perhaps have expected. Well, when you ramp it up, it all changes. I'm just hearing, by the way, from Alex down on pit lane. Gabby Corvini looks like he's a rather terminal issue in that car. I don't think we're going to see the Italian driver out. And for Gabby, he did manage to get a time in, though. A 19.4, so at the moment he's 19th. At least he won't be starting at the absolute back of the field. Jan Oleshe, though, no problems whatsoever for him. Currently quickest of all, he won't improve on this lap, but he does not need to. Is just behind. Santiago Urrutia is in second, and there is Ted Bjork on the track, following through the 111. Stays in 3rd place, 18.1 versus 17.9. It's close at the top of the tree. Aurelien Comte's decided he's not comfortable in that 4th position. The French driver on a bit of a charge as well. We're going to be talking a lot about Aurelien Comte, I am absolutely sure. As we come to the line now, just about breaks the time in beaming time, so Aurelien will have one more push lap if he needs it. Jimmy Claret is on his final flyer. 12th position then for the French driver, the last of those that'll make it through into Q2 if he can hold on to this one. Big aggression over the curb, some corrective steering action as well from Jimmy. Hopefully for him, though, that's not too much of a time loss. First pass, fastest personal sector 1 and 2. Sector 3, though, was a nightmare. 9/10 of a second away from the pace. Jimmy Claret's day is done. He stays in 12th position for now. Anybody behind going quicker, though, will be a big risk factor for the French driver. Eric Zabala being the first of those that could potentially get himself in to that all-important top 12. Where is Zabala on the racetrack? I don't think he's going to be too much of a threat looking at the time in tower. In fact, actually, I think he's bailed from that one. So Eric, a quick look outside of my exceptional commentary box window view, I have to say, and yes, there is Eric coming down pit lane. So the big tall building on your right-hand side, the very top floor is where the commentary box is, and it has a stunning view of the racetrack. It's challenging to keep my eyes on the screen, to be honest. Such is the view. Damiano Reduzzi crosses the line. Can Damiano improve? No, he cannot. No further progress to be made for the Italian driver. Reduzzi ends that session 18th place. Not a bad day's work, actually, for the Italian. And there is Raphael Fournier taking the gloves off in a little bit of disappointment, I think it's probably fair to say, for the French driver. He likes it round here. Did a good job, 15th position in the end. Julian Brichet, teammate and team boss, 9th place. Very good time as well indeed. Crowds watching on then. It's a busy weekend here in Spain. Lots of activations for the drivers, lots of activity on the racetrack as well. Of course, for the World Tour, they're very much the big show in town. Looking forward are the fans to see some top-level touring car action, and as they should be as well. It has got all the hallmarks of being a bit of a classic weekend I think it's fair to say this weekend. Looking forward to all three of our races. Looking forward, though, to the second portion of qualification, where our top 12 drivers will fight it out for the positions. Let's have a look then at the times at the end of Q1. Jan Elishay from Santiago, Urrutia and Ted Bjork. A Geely Cyan Racing Benefit at the front of the pack. Then Aurelian Kopp, Mikhail Kona and Norbert Michelis are 4, 5 and 6. Good stuff from Jensen Brickley there. ETS Guest Star Trophy. Fastest driver would be Sten Dorian Peremaggi in 8th position, just ahead of Julian Richer and Victor Anderson. Also going through into Q2 is Ma Qinghua and Jimmy Claire. Eric Zabala being the first of those that will remain in their grid positions for 13th, 14th and 15th, Gianfratti and Raphael Fournier, respectively. Sandro Pilate, René Paulsen, Damiano Reduzzi, Gabi Corvini and Manuel Fernandez are the top 20 drivers. Luke Sargent crosses the line, 21st position in qualification. Quirino in 22nd, Casalonga in 23rd, Demir Erigier in 24th, Busan Fontan in 25th position. And last but not least is Samuel Chalin in 26th. So the cars will take a short break now in a few moments' time. Alex Legui down on the grid.
A very frustrating session for you, Raphael. Was that about outright pace, or were there other challenges out there that that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I think I did one of my best run. I gained 8/10 from FP2, so for me I did a good job. But the field is so fast that it's not even strong to get to Q2.
Yeah.
But my lap was great, but not enough.
Good. Okay. I like that. That's a very, very positive spin.
Yeah.
What do you feel then that you've learned from this qualifying session that you can use when it comes to the race?
Well, I'm still struggling a bit with the oversteer, understeer with the car. I need to find where's the optimal setup. So for the race, for the FP2 was good. So I think we'll go with this, and we will be maybe midfield and gonna battle with the rest of the field.
Good stuff. All right. Best of luck. Thank you, Raphael. Are you staying with me?
Thank you very much indeed, Alex, down there on the pit lane in these sweltering weather conditions. Raphael Fournier then a little bit disappointed with his performance, I think it's fair to say, but still a good result for the Frenchman. 15th position. You can do some damage from there, can't you? 3 races in front of us, lots of opportunity to move yourself further forward. I don't think we need to panic too much about Raphael and his opportunity going forwards. Right then, big winners, big losers from qualification. I think it's fair to say, looking down the running order, Gabriele Corvini's got to fall into the disappointed category. Some kind of issue for the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corse team. Hopefully they can get that one fixed in the short break between qualification and race 1 a little bit later on this afternoon. Who else is going to be feeling a bit frustrated about their day's work? I think it's fair to say Jimmy Claire will be absolutely delighted to have made it through into Q2, the French driver, on his first race weekend in the World Tour for ALM Motorsports. Sharing the car with brother Teddy. Good performance there to get into the top 12. And remember, of course, these 12 drivers are fighting out for their grid position in race number 2. Getting to the top 10, you can get the reverse pole position, and that'll be absolutely vital around here. Big winners, though. Geely Cyan Racing. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, Gabby, I know you're very busy, but talk us through what happened there with Corvini. It looked like radiator?
Yeah, we don't know, honestly. We have to check. Obviously, there was a leakage of engine coolant. That was the signal on the dashboard. We have to double-check the car what is happening, because the problem that we had yesterday in FP2 was completely different, the rear axle, so the suspension problem. So, yeah, let's us check, and then I will update you.
Right, all right. Thank you.
Okay then,
You
back
too.
in action again for 10 minutes of qualification 2. 12 drivers take to the field. in an absolutely all or nothing charge now for qualifying. This is when we're going to see the true pace of these cars. This is when we're going to see the true commitment of these drivers. This is what matters. This is what sets the grid for our first race of the day a little bit later on this afternoon. Who will be fastest? Are Geely Cyan Racing, the point team here at Valencia, Canarelli and Comte, pull one out of the bag for SP competition? And where are the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa team on pace? ALM Motorsports have 2 cars for Jensen Brickley, Stendari and Piramagi as well, leading the charge for TCR Spain. Julien Brichet, good qualified performance for him. The Frenchman, though, may struggle when the pace lifts up again. And Victor Anderson, of course, Victor Anderson, the man of the moment in TCR Spain and TCR Europe as well. For Monlau Motorsports, the Cupra driver has got a big opportunity to be very, very quick indeed. Hold on to your seats, folks. Don't go anywhere. This next 8 minutes, 37 seconds, plus change, is going to be absolutely fascinating for these drivers. Can't wait to see how this one pans out. It's going to be a very, very interesting session indeed. Mikel Azcona, first one over the line then. In the 196, Mikel Azcona leads the field through qualification Q2 into T1 through T2. Avoid the tyre stack on the outside of the corner. Hard on the brakes, get the car down into the apex. Looks very, very nice. The Hyundai has done all weekend around this racetrack. Just looks like a car that inspires confidence in the drivers. And Mikel, we know how quick Mikel Azcona is in a TCR touring car. He has 3 pole positions to his name so far in the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. Will this be pole position number 4 on home soil? He would dearly, dearly love it to be with the Spanish driver. There's about 11 cars behind him that would like to take that away from him. There we go, the BRC squad watching on their cars. First and second on the racetrack. It's not track position though, it is lap time that counts through the chicane, up the hill. Start dropping down into one of the trickiest parts of the racetrack. The car's unbalanced. Little telltale lock of the inside. Looks like it's going to be hooked up Mikel very nicely indeed. Hard on the loud pedal, stay within the confines of the racing surface. Mikel Azcona then about across the line. What can he do for the first time of the day? A 17.9, great stuff from the Spanish driver, fastest of all. No, but Michaelis can't quite respond. There is Jan Earlishay up in second position. Ted Bjork as well, less than a 10th covering our top 3 at the first time of asking. Mikel Azcona though is quickest of all. Earlishay, been delighted about that one, 1,000th quicker than teammate Ted Bjork in 3rd position. Just over half a 10th covers our top 3. Azcona though still on it, looking for another push lap in the 196. Will the Kulo slick tyres have enough meat left to give? Ted Bjork quickest of all through Sector 1. That answers that question then, at least in the early portion of this lap. Azcona a little bit squirrely, a little bit untidy. He ain't going to go faster on this particular occasion, but look at Ted in the back of your shot. We're looking for the 111, the car with the yellow highlights on the wing mirrors. Very, very quick. There we go. There is the Geely Cyan Racing Machine. Bjork a little bit slower in the second sector though. Henry's 3/10 of a second to the chasing pack. Santiago Urrutia on a personal quickest time as well. Santiago has an opportunity. 5th position so far for the Uruguayan driver. What can Bjork do through the final corners as well? There'll be a faint slipstream available from teammates ahead. Jan Earlishay's elected to head down pit lane. Bjork doesn't think he can improve his time either. Goes through pit lane. Santi is the one that crosses the line, doesn't improve. So that was a wise decision from the 2 Geely Cyan Racing drivers. Marcin Kwar, that we're having a quick look on there, winding up for his lap as well. Mar yet to set a representative lap time. 118.5 he's got against his name. We know that he can go quicker than that one. 8th quickest for Mar so far, perhaps. Playing the reverse grid game, it worked very well, didn't it, for the Chinese at Bazzano? Maybe. It's another opportunity to do exactly that for car number 155. 8/10 away in Sector 1. This isn't going to be a benefit lap, I don't think, for Mar. Up Santiago Urrutia, personal fastest, Sector 1. Down there in 5th position so far. He needs to find just over half a second. Middle sector though, this lap's been abandoned by Urrutia. He'll be heading down pit lane. get a fresh set of Kumho boots for one final roll of the dice to improve his grid position. There's the chicane that we mentioned, and then head down into this very so tricky final corner, named after, of course, Adrian Campos, former Formula 1 racer and team owner as well. And there is Ted, back out on track. Just behind him is Jensen Brickley. Santiago Urrutia looking out of my window. I think it's come down. Yes, he has. It's come down. Sorry, Machinquar has come down pit lane. He'll wisely elected to bail from that one, of course. The limit and the gaps are so close here at the World Tour that you really can't afford to leave time on the table running old tyres. You've got to be on the absolute limit of what is possible if you have any aspirations of getting out there and getting the big results. Julian Brichet, by the way, is the reverse grid pole sitter for the moment. In 10th position, Victor Anderson, Jimmy Clary. I don't think they'll stay in 11th and 12th positions for the rest of the session. So Julian may have to go a little bit quicker come the checkered flag if he wants to hold on to that top 10. 8/10 of a second then covering our top 10 drivers. 1.2 seconds covering the top 12. Jimmy Clary being the slowest of all so far as we're right on board with Aurelien Comte. 7th place for SP competition at this moment in time. Aurelien just winding himself up to get a good lap going. There's Victor Anderson out of pit lane. We have to use, by the way, in case you wondered, the wider rejoin onto the racetrack purely for safety reasons, of course, so we're not coming back out onto the heat of battle. Gives everybody plenty of time to make sure there's no dramas and problems. It's not a mistake. It is very much as part of the race direction instructions. There's Aurelien Comte. Now we're on our quick lap for car number 107. Let's have a look then. What can the Cupra, the SP competition, Sylvain Poussier's machine, Aurelien Comte behind the wheel. This man knows how to go fast. He knows how to take victories. He knows how to take good results in this car. Not had a pole position yet in the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. That's a terrible time for that one to freeze up because Aurelien's pointing left into a right-hander, so had a bit of drama there. Good sector 1, personal fastest of all. Just a nip under 1/10 of a second away from Mikel Azcona at the head of the pack. What can he do about this one? Noah Michelis has gone quickest of all in 4th position through sector 1. A good time there for Aurelien. Up through the chicane into Campos, the final corner. Be careful not to snatch that inside brake too hard on the Cupra. Looks very controlled, doesn't it, there from Aurelien? Nice early turn into the corner, using the full width of the racetrack on corner exit. Nothing now to do apart from keep the foot planted to the boards for the French driver. 7th quickest becomes 5th, and that's a good lap time for Aurelien Comte. Nice performance there. Norbert Michelis, 4th quickest so far. What can the Hungarian driver do a little bit more aggressive into that final corner than we saw from Aurelien Comte? Will it be enough though? 0.2 of a second down in sector 2. Brilliant timing, being 4th position for Norbert. Remains in 4th position. Fails to improve his time by just over 0.07 of a second. Norbert still on it though in the 105. The body language of that Hyundai says, I'm still pushing. Fancy more than a second row of the grid does Norbert Michelis. Meanwhile, Jan Erlichey, look at that sector 2 time. Almost 1/10.5 quicker than Ted Bjork. This is a lightning lap from the French driver. Ted tries to reply instantaneously as well. Personal fastest sector 2. What can Jan Erlichey do? How is he going to move forward the lap time? Will he improve? I'm sure he will. As we come to the line, yes, he does. 1/10.5 is the advantage over Ted Bjork. Santiago Urrutia as well in the conversation. So Jan Erlichey is provisionally at the head of the pack. What can Bjork do about it? Just behind is Santi in the 181 as well. So Santi's going to get a benefit of a bit of slipstream coming to the line. Does Bjork improve? No, he does not. Santiago does, though. Thank you very much indeed. Second row of the grid. 3rd position provisional for the Uruguayan driver. A good lap of 117.9 for Urrutia. Erlichey still at the head of the pack, of course. No real big moving and shaking happening out of the track at the moment. Jimmy Clary's called time on his day. 12th position will be the starting place for the Frenchman. We're looking at Machinquar. Very quick, actually. Personal fastest. 1 and 2 for the Chinese driver. Got to be a bit careful not to go too fast, otherwise he's going to compromise himself for race 2 grid. Let's have a look. What can Mar do here? Currently 8th position, 8/10 of a second away from the ultimate pace. Fails to improve on that lap and is out. Good stuff there from Ma Qinghua. 8th quickest. Stendarian Piramagi, by the way, still leading the charge for the ETS Guest Star Trophy for drivers that are doing one-off events. 9th quickest, the TCR Spain regular. The Estonian driver, very, very quick. Very nice guy is Stendarian, and well inside the top 10 for good measure. Great performance from him. Julian Brichet, by the way, is our driver in 10th position. So Victor Anderson failed to get himself inside the top 10. That's quite a surprise, it has to be said, for the Swede. And a great performance from Julian Brichet, top 10 in the World Tour. Absolutely wonderful for JSB. All eyes though, isn't it, on that man Jan Erliché. What a great performance then from the French driver. That will be Jan's 7th Kumho FIA TCR World Tour pole position. Perfect stuff then from car number 168. Puts himself in the best place possible for the racing action a little bit later on. First pole then for Jan since Villarreal. First pole position as well, of course, for Geely Cyan Racing, to add to the success story of the win at Mazzano last time around. Absolutely incredible stuff then. Well done Geely Cyan Racing, and well done Jan Erliché. What a performance. Look how much that means as well. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. I hope Jan's shoulder's all right, because plenty of people are slapping him on the back, aren't they? Great stuff then for team and driver. Congratulations to all concerned. Absolutely fabulous stuff, and I think Alex is already down there getting ready to have a quick word in a couple of moments' time. Right then, provisional Q2 results are on your screen. There is confirmation. Jan Erliché, Ted Bjork, Santiago Urrutia making it a Geely Cyan Racing 1, 2, 3. Mikkel Azcona on home soil in 4th, just ahead of teammate Norbert Michelitz. 6th place to Aurelien Comte. Good performance from the Frenchman, just ahead of Jenson Brickley and Ma Qinghua. Stendarian Piramagi, ETS Guest Star Trophy fastest driver in 9th. Julian Brichet earns himself the race 2 pole position in 10th. Victor Anderson will be 11th, just ahead of Jimmy Claret. Right, let's head down to our pole position winner.
That was a mega lap. I mean, in fact, your mega lap also happened in Q1, but my word. Talk us through it.
Not easy one.
Let's walk.
I haven't done enough effort in the car, you mean, so we need to walk. No, it was a good quali, not easy. The track was quite good at the beginning, then the temperature picks up, so the grip was getting less and less. But we get used to the car, we adapt a bit setup, but I'm very happy to put it at the most important time on the quali, you know, because Mikkel was pushing quite a lot. We both carry weights, you know, and it was a bit a weight game, so not easy, but I'm happy to score that pole, yeah.
So, you won here last year, but this is a very different layout. Just how different is it? How much more challenging is it with it being that shorter layout?
Most of the track is quite similar. We remove one opportunity of overtaking, but at the end of the day, when it's going right, I turn right, and when it's going left, I turn left, and then all should be fine.
I feel like you've got the basics nailed, Jan.
Yes, because everything normally is quite related to basics. Sometimes we want to overcomplicate the thing, but it's just a basic thing sometimes are the best.
Yeah, okay. What do you think we're most likely to see? Like, how easy is it going to be to convert this to a win in the race?
I don't know who is P2.
Ted, I think, in the end.
Ted is P2. Well, Ted is same weight as me, to be honest, so yeah, both of us will have the same chance of winning. There is no team order there, so thanks to Cyan to let us race. It will be down to make a good start, for sure. I don't know which line is the best. We need to look at data from the practice start yesterday, but yeah, we will see. It's the run down to T1, and then let's fight.
Okay, all right. We need to... Are you staying with us? We need to get down there pretty sharpish to come and get your cap. We're going to keep walking, Jan. Sorry, buddy. Yes, and then Norby. I mean, actually, when I was speaking to Norby yesterday, he was really confident in his weekend. I have to say, I wasn't expecting you to come out on top during qualifying.
Well, you don't believe in me?
I believe in you, Jan. I believe in you. Not quite as much as your engineer, who's got a tattoo on his foot of you.
No, but for sure with the weight, it was not making sense for us to end up in front. But at the end of the day, we nailed that, and we know we have like a good balance with weight. All over last year was the case, but it was the first time we carry weight with the Geely, so it was a bit unknown, but it's all going okay.
All right, so CEO of WSC, Marcello Lotti, I hand over to you, sir.
Fantastic stuff, and here we go then, the pole position award for Jan Earlachet. Marcello Lotti, WSC president, of course.
I think
is
it's
the
very
one.
good time, eh? Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed for Jan Earlachet. A great result there. Lovely trophy to commemorate his 7th pole position in the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. He's now the driver that's running away with things at the top of the pack as the man with the most pole positions. Norbert Michelitz is in second in 5. And then Santiago Arrutia with 4 to his name. But that's going to mean a lot to Jan, not just for the performance here and now, but for the best position that places him in for the racing action this afternoon. Frederick Vallen straight over there as well to congratulate his charge on what has been a very, very strong performance in qualifying. 1, 2, 3 for Geely Cyan Racing. It's going to be difficult for the rest of the pack, isn't it, come race time? But let's remember, the great unknown of this layout of the Valencia circuit opens opportunity. Confirmation again then. The times at the line were Jan Earlachet from Ted Bjork, Santiago Arrutia and Mikel Azcona. 5th place to Norbert Michelitz, just ahead of Aurelien Comte, Jensen Brickley and Marcin Kwar being the top 8. Stendari and Piramagi, the quickest of the TCR Spain drivers and the winner of the ETS Guest Star fastest time. 10th place to Julian Brichet, Victor Anderson in 11th, Jimmy Clary in 12th. And let's remember, folks, we're in action at 16:45 local, 14:45 UTC. See you then.